What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to another Echocalypse video. Alright guys, I want to talk a little bit about shielders today. We have two specific shielders who are probably two of the best support units in the game. Outside of course Audrey not being a shielder and providing rage and a little bit of off heals. I'm talking specifically about Pan Pan versus Vivi. There's been a lot of conversation about which one is the better unit. And I want to kind of chime in and give you guys a little comparison between the two. So I'm on Terrorizer's account because he actually has both of them, so I can do a little bit of testing with you guys. Now, both of these units are fairly evened out, except Pan Pan does have 2 stars and Vivi does not. So I'm going to give you guys my suggestion on both. We're going to go over their kits and kind of put them into the fold so you guys can see which one does better in what form and where they should be used. Okay, so let's start off with Vivi first. Okay, so first I'm going to level this up because I hate seeing lack of levels. Let's talk about the skills, the stars, etc. Right, the 1 star here, Empire teams resistance plus 10%, even if not deployed. Support team members res plus 10% if not deployed, and then 6 stars, all team members HP plus 10%. So pretty straightforward stuff here. Stats wise, I mean, you look at it, it's HP, armor, attack, and resistance. Everything else is 0%, except for like a little bit of crit, a little bit of hit, and damage bonus, etc. Right? So all that stuff is all well and dandy. Her links are as follows: Nightingale, she has Audrey and Camellia, Beam and Senko, and then lastly Aiken. So links make a big difference, right? Having them in assist, having them on the team, etc. It all makes a big difference. Having some of these characters is going to sometimes push one character to be better than the other. But let's just say you have all the links for both characters, and we're going to just compare kit to kit, okay? So, active skills. Vivi uses Divine Magic to deal 120% magic damage to the enemy with the highest HP percentage and grants a shield equal to 50% of her attack to the ally with the lowest HP. So every active move gives one person a shield with the lowest HP, also attacks the person with the highest HP percentage with 120% magic. As you increase this up to level 4, it can go up, level 3 I mean, it goes up to 100% of her attack with the shield and 145% magic damage. So not too shabby. You can keep a shield up pretty much the whole time with that move. But of course that requires the 4 star. We're talking about just the 1. Now if you go to the Holy Judgment, which is her special, Vivi enters Gospel mode and casts a powerful divine spell dealing 178% magic damage to 3 random enemies and increasing damage reduction by 15% for allies with less than 50% HP for 1 round. So this could be a lifesaver. 50% HP or 15% damage reduction is nothing to scoff at. That's a pretty big reduction in damage for 1 round and can save a lot of people's lives. It does have a caveat though. Allies have to be with less than 50% HP in order for this buff to work. Now, as you increase this, the percentage of damage goes up as well as the damage reduction, but it never really gives anything above the 50% line, but it does eventually at 3 stars provide 3 allies with the lowest HP a shield to 8% of her max HP. So this is where you actually want to build Vivi HP based. Okay, so the gear set is going to be HP based because you want her to have more HP because the shield that's provided is going to be based off of her max HP. So very important to note that part. Okay, most shielders, most attackers, most healers are all attack based off of their heals, but shielders use HP base. Okay, so that's why it's important to know what set to use. Now, when you unlock at 5 stars, it goes to 12%, and then of course damage reduction goes to 24%, which is huge. 6 stars, 27%, and then 16%, and then now it's for 2 rounds versus 1 round, and the 2 round starts at 5 stars, just so you guys are aware. The damage reduction is huge for 2 rounds. That's a crazy amount of damage reduction. And then of course the last one here at 7 stars, you get yourself damage reduction at 30% for 2 rounds. Vivi grants 3 allies with the lowest HP a shield of 20% of her max HP, and she also applies Chanting Heim to all allies for 2 rounds, and Chanting Heim essentially does 50% of the damage taken is deducted in the form of bleed over the next 2 rounds. So instead of taking the full-on damage, you get a bleed debuff, which for 2 rounds will just reduce HP, giving you time to get healed and shielded up again. So this is a really, really cool application, and this obviously is going to be more whale territory, but it's still really, really powerful. Okay, so there you guys go right there. And then for prayers, this is her passive. Vivi endures pain and prays with magic. At the start of the battle, she grants all allies shield equal to 8% of her max HP and reduces their next skill damage taken by 40 freaking percent. So think of Aiken, right? Aiken does her special. That's 40% damage reduction off Aiken's special there for one whole round. That's a massive amount of damage taken away. And as you increase that, that damage reduction gets further and further, up to all the way up to 50%. And the last one here even gives block rate of allies carrying a shield by 25%. And because you get a shield right away, this block rate is instantly applied, meaning you'll take even less damage if you block with the damage reduction. So this is what, to my opinion, makes her the ultimate support for shielding, okay? Now let's compare to Pan Pan real quick, just because a lot of people do like Pan Pan. Now, if you look here, East Rise team gets armor plus 10%. Healer team members get armor plus 10%. And then on the last one, all team members get attack 10%. So pretty good for that, for anyone East Risers. And this one, here's all team members, right? But you got to get to 6 stars to get that bonus. If we look at the skills, let's actually look at the links here. So Bastet, Zawa, Shiyu, Horus, which is not out yet, and Wajet. Okay, so having those units will give you guys all your links. Now let's talk about the active skills. So unlike Vivi, which is magical, Pan Pan is physical. So that right there might determine where you want to use them. Physical versus magical. Some enemies are more susceptible to magic, some are more susceptible to physical. So going between the two is not a bad thing. 97% physical damage to a row of enemies. It reduces their hit rate by 15% for one round. Now this can obviously be, so this is 15% for me right now, or Terrorizer in this case, and then 10% is where you start. Okay, so at 2 stars you get 15, at 3 stars you get 20%. Okay, so the damage itself is not great, but the hit rate reduction is actually kind of nice to have. Now going to the special, Pan Pan makes one-time defense item based on the situation. She grants a shield equal to 12% of her max HP to herself and 2 random allies. She blocks the next control effect for all allies in the same row. So you can see right away the shield is more powerful. It does not have a like a condition, 50% or below HP kind of thing. This one is just 2 random allies get a shield, and she also blocks the entire row that she's on control effect for 1 turn. Okay, and that's the level 2 version. Level 1 version is just 10%. Level 2 goes to 12%. Level 3 goes to 14%, and she also now begins to remove a debuff from allies in the same row. So if somebody has a bleed or a burn, it gets removed, right? At 4 stars, the increase goes again, and then now it's also 3 random allies that get the shield, and then at 6 stars, she does 3 random allies. She blocks the next control effect and also removes 2 debuffs instead. Okay, so keep that in mind. Level 7, the last level here, it's 20% of her max HP. For all allies now. So this is where she becomes pretty damn OP. She removes 2 random debuffs again. She also grants burst shield for 2 rounds. Critical rate plus 30% when having a shield. That is huge. So all your DPS now get 30% more crit. So this is where she becomes the ultimate shielder instead of support. And she also gives the massive 30% crit rate to all of your allies. So the way I see this is simple. They're both very good, both very situational. Physical fights, she's going to be better because she does physical damage, but she also provides more shield, and she also starts with a full rage, right? Right there you can see full rage. And if you get to 2 stars, she's, tier 4, she's immune to control effects in the first round, which is great, so you can't stun her or stop her from casting her ultimate. And then over here, she's immune to control effects as well too. I'm not sure what the difference really is here. Develops based on the situation. She starts, yeah, it's all the same. So not sure what, I think there must be something they're missing there. But nonetheless, you guys can see that they both bring a lot to the table. One is situational while the other one's also situational. So I think the better shielder is definitely Pan Pan, but I think the better support for damage reduction and everything else that she offers you is Vivi. And I'm telling you now, damage reduction with that block rate at the highest level possible, I think is better than having a big shield. But then that 30% obviously makes your damage dealers do more damage. So let's just throw both into the battle, and you guys can kind of see how they perform. All right, guys, so here's the setup. We did Pan Pan, Rayon, Winu, Audrey, Kiki, and Aiken. I will tell you guys now, right from the get-go, I don't have the HP set on Pan Pan. She would do a lot better with an HP set. I've just got the attack set on her, and that's fine for Terrorizer. I don't think he has any HP sets at all, which he should start working on for his shielders. But nonetheless, we're going to go ahead and test this out, and we're going to see how this goes, okay? So here's the team setup. We're going to just go ahead and do a quick invite, just get anybody in here. And I think he has 2 turns, so we can try both Vivi and Pan Pan at the same time. You guys can see how this works out, okay? So let's go ahead and do this from first. And you guys will see here right away she starts with the shield, right? So this is going to give 2 random allies shield. Now this shield would have been much higher. You see Winnow got it, Aiken got it, and Pan Pan got it. Now that shield would have been much higher if she had the HP set on. Okay, so make sure if you are building Pan Pan and using Vivi that your HP set is on both of them, because they're support units. With shielders, you always want HP set. So there's a normal hit. You see hit down. So next time that opponent attacks, there's a better chance for them to miss. And now you guys can see here another one here. It's only 10%, but it's still pretty good. It still does hit down. You can see the shield applied and it stays. That's the good thing about her shield, is the fact that, again, there is no prerequisite for Pan Pan, and the shield stays until it's gone. So the beauty is, if the opponent's not doing enough damage to take the shield off, the next round it remains, right? So very important to note that. Well, Vivi's shield that she does from the start is only a 1-round shield. So let's see here. There we go. And now you can see the shield happen again. Once this is gone, you can still see the shield still standing, right? And again, based off of her max HP, there it is again. 2 random allies got it. So look at this shield, that shield, they're the same pretty much HP wise, right? Okay, so there you guys go. So you can see here the shield causes a lot of damage to just be blocked by that itself, right? But keep in mind, there's also opponents that have special moves that can do more damage against people who have shields. So it's important to remember, depending who you're fighting, one will be better than the other, okay? So there's one. Now let's go back out here. I'm going to go ahead and create another team. And this time we're going to take Pan Pan out, and we're going to throw Vivi in, okay? So let's replace. There it is, okay? And now we're going to see the difference between the two of them. Now remember, there's a lot of more prerequisites required for Vivi special. People need to be below 50%, which is not going to happen in this fight. Actually, let me see if I can go back out. Is there a stronger fight that he can do now? 50k is the highest. Okay, so that's fine. So we're going to try this again. So deploy, make sure it's the right team. Good. Go in here. You know what? Just quick invite somebody. And then let's go in here, okay? So now we're using Vivi. Now you're going to see the difference between the two. So right from the start, you're going to notice one thing. Everybody gets a shield, okay? And that shield is actually pretty powerful. But again, not using the HP set is a problem in itself. Now, one thing as well to note is that Vivi doesn't start with full rage, right? So that's something to remember. This time, though, she will probably cast her special. Her special actually does do damage versus giving just a shield. So that's another bonus with Vivi, is she will obviously do more damage. And again, nobody's below 50% HP, so nobody gets that damage reduction. But on that first round, everybody gets the 50% damage reduction on anyone's skills, right? So anyone who does a skill, you're gonna, it's 40% damage reduction. Anyone who does a special, so for example, if Aiken did full rage special, everybody would have taken 40% less damage, but just by being there, right, for 1 round. So that shield is still pretty powerful, even not having the HP set on. And you can see the difference, right? If you have a pretty strong team and you're looking for a full shield for everybody, you're better off using Vivi, right? While Vivi does have prerequisites, such as having 50% HP or less to get some of the extra bonuses, that skill reduction for first round and that full shield for everybody is huge. So it depends. Now you can play devil's advocate and put both of them in and have a shielder for this and damage reduction throughout the whole thing and not even use a healer and probably still do really well. So they both can work well together, but most of the time they're going to be situational. So there you guys have it. So in my opinion, here's how it goes. The better shielder long term ends up being Pan Pan. Plus she provides your DPS with the ability to do 30% crit if you can get her to 7 stars. That's whale territory, right? So for most free to play, that's not even something you're going to see. The better overall support unit, though, with the damage reduction, with the skill reduction for first round, and all the shields for every round, for 1 round that is, sorry, depending on the waves, I think Vivi's better. So overall, personally, I'm a bigger Vivi fan because of everything she brings to the front versus Pan Pan. But I think if you can get 7 stars, your DPS is better off using Pan Pan than Vivi for that 30% crit. But again, that's pure whale territory. All right, guys, Payne, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care.